Hi everyone, welcome to Jostuta Academy. I'm Joseph Benjamin, and in today's video we are going to look at the introduction part of business law, where we shall be looking at the types of laws, what a law means, the case, and the aspects of a case. First and foremost, the definition of a law is that a law is a body of rules and regulations governing a society. So these are the rules that make a society a good place to live in, and it has elements or aspects for it to be called a law. Number one, there must be order. Like that law must create order in a community or a society or a country, and the order must be enforceable. And lastly, the order must create sanctions to wrongdoers. Take an example. In Uganda, they say you should not kill one another. Like, so one person should not kill another. So that creates order in society, and it is a law because it is enforceable. How is it enforceable? You are taken to court, and it is a law because it creates sanctions to wrongdoers, or it creates penalties to the wrongdoers, that if you have killed another person, they will imprison you for life, or they may even hang you. So those are the aspects that make some statement to be a law. Then we are going to look at the types of laws, and we shall start with criminal law. So a criminal law, it's a law that deals with offenses committed against society or the state. Like, this law punishes acts that are considered harmful to the society. For example, theft, murder, or assault. So in simple terms, it is a law that deals with wrongdoers. An example, in Uganda, if someone steals a car of another person, the state or Uganda as a state prosecutes that person under the criminal law. Same applies when someone kills another, when someone steals anything from another person, he is charged against the state, like it's the state against that person, like versus that person. Then we move to civil law. So the civil law deals with disputes between individuals or organizations, where, for example, the harmed party seeks compensation or a remedy, or even it may seek special performance. So that is a civil law. In simple terms, it is a law governing private persons. An example, if a hotel is given goods by supplier, by goods I mean maybe seats, tables, tablecloths, and so on, and the hotel refuses to pay the supplier, the supplier will sue the hotel for maybe special performance, or even for maybe compensation. That is what a civil law handles. So that is a law that governs private persons. Then we continue with public law. Public law, this is a law that governs the relationship between individuals and the government. And in this law, it has examples such as the constitution law, the administrative law, and maybe even the criminal law still, because there is a relationship between the government and the individual. Or even it can be between states, Kenya and Uganda, Rwanda and Uganda, Sudan and Uganda. That is a public law. An example, when you remember about Toji Kwatako, I remember there is a lawyer who sued the government for wanting to extend the limit of the period of the president to rule the country. So if a citizen challenges the government on such issues, that is under the public law. Then we also have private law. These are rules that regulate the relationship between private individuals or organizations. So this is the same as the civil law. An example, you may take a contract law, a land law, because two private individuals are engaged in that law. That makes it a private law. Furthermore, we look at substantive law. These are rules relating to actual rights and duties. Like these define the rights, duties, and obligations of individuals. Like it tells you what the law is. Like it gives you the substance of your acts. For example, if you destroy property, you will pay. If you destroy school property, you will be suspended. If you murder someone, you will be charged for life imprisonment. That is a substantive law. Now in Uganda, murder is prohibited under a penal code, and the substantive law is that it defines the penalty, whether you will be hanged or given life imprisonment. Then procedural law. These are rules relating to procedures of enforcing the rights. Like the procedural provides the steps and the processes to enforce the substantive law. For example, if the substantive law is that Joseph sold the goods to Benjamin on credit and Benjamin refused to pay Joseph. Joseph must ensure that Benjamin compensates or pays him fully. But how is he going to ensure that Benjamin pays him? Will he attack him or will he go through the legal system? That is the procedural law. They are the steps you follow to handle a substantive law. An example, the Criminal Procedure Code in Uganda explains how to conduct a trial for maybe theft or even murder. In that you have to first report, then the police makes a check, and so on and so forth, makes a report. We're going to look at that in our next video, how to handle a criminal case. After procedural law, we are looking at domestic or municipal law. Domestic or municipal law, it can also be called the national law. So it applies within a specific country. If in Uganda, it only applies in Uganda. For example, the Uganda's Company Act, it governs how the businesses must be registered, how to attain licenses, how much taxes are to be paid by a specific business according to the income they get. Then international law, these are laws that govern relations between countries or even international organizations like WHO, World Health Organization. It follows an international law. Uganda and Kenya, Tanzania and Uganda, those are the law. There are some laws which govern that. For example, if you are in hospitality business, that is to say entertainment, and you want to take Sheba to Dubai, there is an international law of Sheba to be decent while performing in Dubai. That's what we mean by international law. It regulates the relationship between the two countries. Furthermore, we're going to look at a case. In business law, you're going to be hearing case, case between, case between, case between. So this is what a case entails, or this is what a case is made up of. And a simple definition about a case is that a case is a dispute between two people. It is a dispute between two people. You may continue and say it's a dispute between two people taken to court for a settlement. So I'm going to give you an example of Joseph versus Benjamin. And this is how they list a case. That is to say, Joseph, V means verse, Benjamin, High Court Bulletin, the year 2026, and then the page number. So when you go to the High Court Bulletin or the records and you check on the 21st page, you will see the case between Joseph versus Benjamin. This is just an example. It's not there. So I'm going to take this case to be between Joseph and Benjamin for refusal to maybe make payments. So Joseph is a caterer. That is a caterer. So Joseph operates a catering company. Benjamin is a groom. So Benjamin has a wedding. Joseph is a caterer. Joseph delivers food to the wedding of Benjamin on credit. That is to say, maybe Benjamin paid half of the money and the balance was to be paid later. So Joseph demands Benjamin the balance and Benjamin refuses to pay the balance. So Joseph goes ahead to court and sues Benjamin for refusal to pay the balance. So when Joseph goes to the court, they will record that case as Joseph v. Benjamin. If he goes to the High Court, they will put HCB 2026 on the page. Now, what does a case have? There are 5 things that a case must have. And if you're talking about a case in your examples, that is for examination purposes, you must talk about these 5 things. Number 1, facts. What are the facts of the case between Joseph and Benjamin? The facts are that Joseph provided food to Benjamin's wedding and Benjamin refused to pay the balance. Those are the facts. Then issues. The issues are the questions you ask yourself. Did Joseph go into contract with Benjamin? What offer did Benjamin give to Joseph? Or what consideration did Joseph give to Benjamin? Was there an intention to create legal relations? And so on. So those are the issues, the questions you ask yourself in this case. Then the laws applicable. For this case, the civil law applies. Even the contract law applies because you may find that Joseph went into contract with Benjamin. Then the civil law also applies because it is a dispute between two private individuals. Then the ruling or decision of court. What did the judge decide? So the judge may decide that Benjamin should pay Joseph. Then ration decidendi. This is the reason why the judge decided or ruled as he or she did. So if the judge said Benjamin pay Joseph, why did he say so? That is the ratio decedent. So those are the 5 things that make up a case. We shall look at them while looking at the elements or the principles of a contract, where we will have Carbonic versus Mockball, Flitch versus Nadaka, and so on. With that few content, I would like to give you the last jots or the conclusion by telling you to have understood the definition of a law, the aspects of a law, the types, and then still you understand the definition of a case and then the aspects of a case. With that, allow me stop here, but kindly don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so that you get updates the next time I post another video about the procedural law of both the criminal and the civil case. Have a good day. Bye.